though.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Let me just, yeah, I've got you tagged. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Marina Jacobi, and we're in Boulder, Colorado. Let us know if you guys can hear us okay, because I have the phone a little bit further away from us. And how are you? Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes, I love it.
Is this your first time to Colorado?
Yes, it is. Hello, Boulder. Hello, Colorado.
Hope you guys are doing all right. We wanted to know if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask us. So let us know. Hi, Jerry. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
If you guys have any questions you want to ask us, it's been interesting observations for us today here in Boulder. You coming from New Jersey?
Yes, I'm coming from New Jersey. It's a bit different here with everything that is happening around the country. So it's a very good experience for me. I came here in a business trip, and Nicole is a very good friend of mine, so we're visiting. And I must say it's quite a different experience. A lot of people are wearing protective masks, and even when they're walking around, which was a bit different for me because I think by law you don't have to wear it when you're walking, right? Only in places like that. So I guess people want to be compliant. And my suggestion to everybody is to do a lot of research, what's really happening and what is the law, because it could be used for different purposes if somebody wants to manipulate you. That's probably the most important thing for me to say for now. And you, Nicole?
Yeah, it's it's interesting. It's just interesting to observe. Just you know, when I was down in Mexico, it really dawned on me because wearing a mask down in a really humid climate, it was really difficult to breathe. I found it very difficult to breathe. Even like we didn't only have to wear it inside the restaurants to go our seats or in the hotel, but it was very humid. And here in Colorado, it's very dry, so it's not so bad. But I understand why people in Florida, like the elderly, are dying in lines, waiting, wearing masks. It's literally killing them. I was having a hard time breathing and getting actual oxygen in, and so that was very kind of a little bit of a wake-up call to me, because I didn't realize how difficult it was for those who live in much hotter and humid climates. And I don't believe I actually don't know if that's helping people. So Jerry, you want to know what is new with Russell J. Gold? When is he going to go global and take charge? Do you know who that is?
No, I have no idea.
I don't know who that is.
Well, globally, humanity is moving to the next level. And in order for you to see this reality, it has to be within your frequency vibration to project this type of a timeline. That's why when you start doing a lot of research and you see how things are going, you will be able to create this type of situations. The truth will reveal itself, and you will see who is manipulating, who is not manipulating. My strong suggestion to everybody is to see the work of Dr. Buttar, B-U-T-T-A-R or E-R, Dr. Buttar on YouTube. The work is phenomenal. He's world-renowned doctor that was really talking what makes sense. You have to understand that he was suggesting that UV light is healing. The medication, there's a different drug, I don't want to say the name of it, that it's literally healing people, including sunlight. When it's up to certain degrees, you cannot catch viruses like that. So please do your research, because there's a lot more to the picture of that. If you are being compliant to everything they say, you almost kind of not thinking for yourself. Dig deeper into, because the rabbit hole is very big, and I don't want anybody to be manipulated through different agendas, political agendas.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because the mask has become very political, and it's wild to witness. I think at the end of the day, I just want to know, where's the end game? When is it safe again, you know, for all of us? And it's just continuing to go on and on and on with no end in sight. And to me, the statistics don't warrant it. Not in this nature, not what we're doing. I don't think, there's so many things that have come out now. There's so many studies. I saw like hundreds of studies that show that wearing even surgical masks for doctors when they're in surgery, that there was no
blood circulation to the brain cells.
No, not that. That they actually were testing to see, there was a guy who had a cold or some sort of thing, and to see if it would transfer through the mask while he was doing surgery. And they tested the wound of the person they were working on, and even though they wore a surgical mask, the wound had all of the bacteria present in it. So the mask didn't work in preventing whatever was the doctor had while he did his surgical thing. And the actual studies even show that there's a lesser, that while not wearing masks in surgery actually has a lower, I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to look here for, but transfer rate of the whatever it is, like the virus. And so since the 70s, these studies have been coming out, perhaps even earlier than that, but the showing that it doesn't really make a difference. And it was really interesting to look at all of these studies that have been done, but for some reason are not being talked about. So very interesting.
Basically, if you just watch certain mainstream media, only one or two channels, you're actually prone to be completely manipulated. Do your research, because if somebody else, a pronounced doctor like this, comes in and says something completely different, you should ask the question why, and look into the material and start thinking for yourself. Because if you really study medicine and if you really do a lot of research, you will realize that all this that they're saying with the masking, where to wear it, how to wear it, and how to implement everything really doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make any sense, then dig deeper into different people that are actually saying, they're actually nurses now. If you go on YouTube, they're different nurses, they blow the whistle of what's really happening in the hospitals. How by law, if you look by law, that you can go in a hospital for respiratory that has nothing to do with the bacteria and the disease, and they will put it that is that because they're making $39,000 in ventilators and $7,000 or $8,000 if you are being diagnosed with the disease. So it's all about money, but it's getting deeper. It's also about manipulation.
I think there's a huge financial incentive for people to play along with the virus and
with a narrative.
Yeah, and to me, I'd like to know, when is this going to end? when is it safe again? Especially with the numbers that we have, it just doesn't warrant this level of pandemic.
We're not saying don't wear your mask, and we're not saying don't be, but ask questions and see through the veil, because the manipulation runs really deep. And so you can still be respectful towards others, whatever you need to be, but until we start really educating ourselves, we're never going to be moving forward.
Do you know what I'd like to talk, I don't know if you'd like to talk about this, but the children, I'm seeing these photos of the children going back to school and having to be separated with 6 feet apart, wearing their masks, eating their lunch alone, in this huge gymnasium and on stages, and they're also separated. And man, a lot of people don't understand how the subconscious is programmed, and these kids, especially before the age of 7, all that they have is their subconscious. And so the subconscious is being programmed with this fear and this dehumanizing of believing that people can make you sick. And there's these programs that I feel like we're not paying attention to the long-term ramifications that this is going to have on our children in the long run. Like, what are your thoughts on?
Well, I personally, after 8th and 10th grade, I pulled away my kids from the school system and I did homeschooling. Actually, it's called unschooling. If you go on YouTube and put unschooling, you're going to see basically that you are picking different programs for your kids, and and you're teaching them through different programs, and you're hiring different teachers. And actually, I think right now this is one of the things the president was talking, more vocational schools, more hands-on stuff, because a lot of also look into what really the colleges are, how many of these colleges are actually their institution, they're like a corporation to make money. Actually, if you have vocational schools from the age of 12 to 24, you can literally finish with the degree of medical degree. You don't need to go and pay another $400,000 to become a doctor when you can start this from the age of 12. So do the research. I've watched the video for that, and it's fundamental if you guys really look into it, because college is actually another corporation of making of billions of dollars.
And I just think it's really important, like I saw here in Colorado, that now that parents are thinking of homeschooling their kids because the schools aren't opening, and pulling them out of not having the online learning, that now the public schools, or I guess the directors of the public schools, are demanding that the parents don't pull them out, because that means the schooling system loses that allotted money for each kid. And it's, I think it was something, it was a huge number. And so
100 kids, if you move 100 kids, if you remove 100 kids from one school district, they can have to close the school district, because I think it costs like $40,000 to $100,000 per child, depending on the school district.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And so they're saying, like, stay home, don't come to school, but if you want to pull your kid out and homeschool them because you want them to have an in-person interactive learning experience, now they're telling you, no, you don't do that, because then we lose the money. And so it's like, well, is it about the money, or is it about keeping the kids safe?
No,
that's what I want to know.
It's about manipulation.
Which one is it? Because as soon as you start to, like, think about the children, all of a sudden it's a money talk. So
look at the work of Dr. Duke Pesto. He's a professor. He's also on YouTube. He has a radio talk show.
Thank you.
The guy, I saw him years ago in a lecture and was talking about Common Core and how this was manipulated. Common Core was embedded of two people, that the person that created Microsoft. So why would you put in Common Core system? If you look at the math of Common Core, is absolutely ludicrous, makes absolutely no sense, and it keep looping you in mathematics that absolutely make no sense. So if you look at all into this stuff, also there were a lot of videos lately that people were showing what kids are learning in 7th grade or 5th grade, 6th grade is very inappropriate languages. See what the kids are learning, and when they have these iPads or whatever they have there, I think it was again from Microsoft, they were showing commercials that were completely inappropriate for their kids, and it's a face recognition, and the commercial will show up depending if adult is listening or watching, or kid is listening or watching. So if you think that the artificial intelligence is not being launched to recognize facial recognition, the truth is that it's launched and it's targeting whatever is necessary. One is for marketing, the other one is for money, and the third one is, I'm sure, is for manipulation, because to show to a child inappropriate videos, to show freedom of loving your body no matter who you are, but I don't have to send my child to a stripping place so I can show the diversity. Diversity is not by the body, but is also by your belief system. And don't allow kids not to learn history. Let them learn about Otis Carr and Tesla. Nothing like this is in a school system. Nothing like this. Education is number one, because if you're educated, you will make the right choices. How can you erase history? You learn from history. Your history defines who we are right now, and from our history we're learning by choosing what not to repeat if something was like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, never let them burn your books, never let them tell you to erase things. And on what you were talking about with the children, I literally saw teachers on Twitter who were claiming that parents being able to be online with their children in the classroom is unsafe. And it's ludicrous that teachers can actually be putting this out and claiming that having parents in the classroom to hear what they're teaching them is creating an unsafe environment for the child. And to think that the parents aren't the ultimate authority and determine what's safe for the child or not, that these teachers are now taking it upon themselves to think that way. And I know not all teachers are like that, but there are some teachers that are coming full out on Twitter and saying this stuff. And it's asinine. It's asinine that teachers think that they get to be the ultimate authority on what a child learns or doesn't. And there seems to be too much control that's being granted to teachers in how they're perceiving their role. And it's not becoming a neutral stance where you can just teach facts. It's now imposing your own perception onto children at a time where their minds are very impressionable and forming long-term patterns of thinking. So
what about the Australian lady that we saw last night?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about
that.
That's
ridiculous.
So apparently in Australia, which, oh my gosh, Australia, you're really going through it right now.
We love you, Australians.
Yeah, totally.
We don't love what's happening there.
No, it's total totalitarianism. So apparently some woman was on the news talking about a reporter that you're not to
you have to be careful.
Not to laugh in public because you could be transferring the virus. And
to what point we realize that this is beyond stupidity now?
That to me is, they don't want you to have any joy anymore. It's like, we're going to take away your joy. So don't laugh. It's what they're trying to do is strip us of.
It's mind control. It's a mind control. If they suppress you, and I'm coming from a communist country, Bulgaria was a communist country, this is how it starts, becomes a mind control. And once they suppress you and they start squeezing you by implementing different things that you should not do, fear tactics and anything that you can do, this way you start becoming compliant and becomes totalitarianism and communism, and all of a sudden by the time you turn around, very cleverly and very slowly they put you in these chains and becomes a huge government. A huge government is huge control, and all of a sudden you have no saying of anything you do and go, including for your kids. So watch out.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're probably gonna we're gonna head out. We just finished our lunch here. So good to see you guys. And Jerry will check it out. Hi, Jason. Good to see you. Guys, have a wonderful week, and I'll be back with you guys real soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.